Good Tuesday morning. Welcome to Devotions with Pastor Paul, Daily Devotions with Pastor Paul. Glad that you are with me this morning. Hope you are enjoying this Tuesday morning and God is speaking to you. Hopefully, part of that will be during this devotional time, and we're glad to have you. It's a beautiful morning and just Thanksgiving week, so we have so many things to be grateful for today. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Again, we just want to kind of highlight the one big thing that's happening right now is our food drive. Thank you for those that have already started giving towards that. You can go on our website, sccbrantford.org, and click on there. There's a link to the items that are necessary, or that they're asking for, not necessary. Not saying that very well, am I? But anyways, you can jump on there and you can bring those. The deadline for those gifts are December 6th. So we hope you'll come and join us. At this time, we are planning our Christmas Eve services at 6 and 11. Those are our normal times now. We're hoping to have in-person services. If not, we'll do something online. But and we'll, we plan to be broadcasting those online as well for those of you who can't be with us. But at this point, services are continuing. I know there's a lot of speculation and whatnot from the governor's office and what they're going to do. But right now, we're a go. So we want you to be planning for those as well. I'd love to have you and your family join us for Christmas Eve services here at Shoreline Community Church. One of our favorite events of the year. So we'll talk to you a little bit about gratitude today in this week of Thanksgiving, and kind of had an epiphany yesterday. So many of you know, and I've talked about it a number of times on our daily devotionals, that my wife and I, we go to a gym, and there's a trainer there that leads the workouts each day. And yesterday I was doing a particular move, and this trainer happened to see that I was doing part of the lift wrong, and I was pulling it way out, and I needed to keep it closer to my chest as I'm pulling it up. And it hit me. And the epiphany is this, that the reason I do these daily devotions is not the big things. For most of us, these daily devotions aren't about fixing the big things. So at the gym, I knew the lift that we were doing. So I knew the big part of it, but there was this one small area that this trainer noticed and said, "Hey, Paul, you need to." Now, the kind of the cool thing was, I caught it too. I knew exactly what I did wrong. And they said, "Okay, here's what you need to do. Do your feet, do the da ba ba." And it was these little things. Can I encourage you? I'm kind of your coach here. And these daily devotions are all about these little things, because we know the big things, right? There's certain big things that we avoid and we know better than and we stay away from. But every so often, we need these little tweaks in our lives. And that's kind of what these daily devotions are. They're little tweaks. And it was kind of and I even shared it with my wife last night. I said, wow, I just had this kind of epiphany. So if you wonder, hey, why do I keep coming back day after day? And I appreciate that you do. Thank you. I hope that we're helping you with little tweaks. And I think one of these little tweaks is we know that we're to be thankful to God. And so we thank God for big things a lot of times. But there's a lot of times, let's be honest, we're not grateful. We're just kind of, well, that's life. We're kind of owed it if we're honest. And not that we live in I'm owed this kind of a mentality, but it's just kind of a default. We never really outwardly think it, but let's be honest, by the way we live and our lack of gratitude sometimes, it's kind of the message we send. I want to tell you a story. In Luke chapter 17, 10 lepers come and they find Jesus. And Jesus has compassion on them and he heals the 10 lepers. And he tells them that they're to go to the temple and to be cleared by the priests. 9 of those lepers go, and whether they go to the temple, whatever they do. But one of those lepers comes back. One of those gentlemen that had been healed comes back to Jesus. And he expresses his gratitude. He lets Jesus know how much he appreciated what he had been given. In verses 17 and 18 of Luke chapter 17, here's what Jesus says. Didn't I heal 10 men? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give glory to God? Only one had the overflow of gratitude to come and thank Jesus. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Stop for a second. Do I express gratitude? Do you express gratitude? Do we express gratitude about 1 out of 10 times? Does that sound about right? That we just stop and say, wow, thank you, God, for. Don Postema in his book Space for God says this. He says, gratitude recognizes that a gift has been given. A favor has been done by someone. There's a gift and a giver. But there's more. Gratitude also calls for a response to that gift. We thank the giver with an expression of appreciation. A handshake, a hug, a note. A gesture of gratitude, listen to this, a gesture of gratitude completes the exchange, closes the circle, lets the love flow back to the giver. When you and I express gratitude, we close the circle. God gives to us, and we circle back, say thank you. 1 out of 10. Would that be the level of our gratitude? 2 out of 10? 0.5 out of 10? 6 out of 10? How grateful really are we? How often do we just stop, look around, and appreciate what we have? Versus how often are we looking for more? Not satisfied with what we have? Willing to trade up? Right? And let's be honest, we do this in a lot of ways. We look at our spouse and go, maybe I could have done better. We look at our house and go, not as nice as so-and-so's. We look at our canoe and say, it's not a boat. We look at our boat and say, it's not a bigger boat. We look at our car. Took a picture of a Lamborghini a couple days ago and sent it to my brothers. And we were all joking about how fast we'd drive that car if we had it. There I am, driving away in my truck, right? I can honestly say I love my truck. So I wasn't really, it'd be fun to drive that car. But I'm really thankful for what I have. Are we thankful? Are we really thankful? Do we ever just stop and go, I have enough? When's the last time we really just said thanks to God, to our spouse, for our children, for our jobs, for the fact that God has kept us healthy during this pandemic, or if we haven't been healthy, that God has healed us. 1 out of 10. From a scale of 1 to 10, how thankful, how grateful are you today? Something to think about. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, forgive us for our lack of gratitude. And for those that do this well, Lord, I pray you just continue to bless them. And Lord, I pray that they continue to be grateful. And for those of us who just kind of assume we deserve what we have, help us. Remind us again that you are a generous Father, that we are so blessed. Lord, I just pray for me personally today that I would do a better job than 1 out of 10, or that I would be the 1 out of 10 who's truly grateful for all you've given to me. I thank you today. For those that are following along with this devotional, I pray that you would bless them, bless their family, bless their day. I ask this in Christ's name. Amen. Hey, thank you so much. I do not take it for granted that you spend a couple of minutes with me today. I pray, like I just did, that you'd have a great day. Blessings.